Sometimes the very biggest names in the entire league sneak into trade conversations when nobody is looking, and you genuinely, truly have to be ready when they do. Tonight on the show, I have to tell you about something that made me sit straight up because we are talking about a former Defensive Player of the Year, an NBA champion, a true two-way superstar big man, and the team increasingly connected to him in real reporting is the Los Angeles Lakers. So stay with me, Lakers fans, because reuniting Anthony Davis with this franchise, this time as a proven co-star for Luka Doncic, is exactly the kind of full-circle move that builds a genuine championship contender. Here's exactly what's being reported, cutting right through the noise. According to sources, the Washington Wizards, who traded for Davis back in February, are believed to want him on the floor first to help rebuild his trade value, but rumors have already picked up around the league that a desperate team putting the right first-round pick into an offer could get Washington to actually listen. And given that Anthony Davis already won a championship in Los Angeles and knows exactly what it takes to win with this franchise, the Lakers are one of the most logical destinations of all if he genuinely becomes available. Anthony Davis, back in the purple and gold, lined up next to Luka Doncic this time around. Read that line again, slowly, because if you truly understand exactly what Luka needs around him, and you understand that Davis already has genuine championship chemistry with this exact organization, you understand precisely why this could be one of the most fitting and powerful moves of the entire offseason, and I am here to walk you through step by step exactly why a player this good might even be available right now, because it's a genuinely fascinating situation developing in real time. Now, I already know exactly what some of you are going to bring up right away: the price, the health history, and whether the front office would actually go back down this exact road. And we are going to get to every single bit of it, I promise, because I always give you the honest version. But stay with me through this one, because a genuine reunion between Anthony Davis and this franchise, this time built specifically around Luka Doncic, is exactly the kind of move that makes complete and total sense. Let me start with why Anthony Davis is even in this conversation, because it's a wild situation. Anthony Davis was traded to the Washington Wizards back in February as part of a larger Blockbuster deal, and reporting indicates he has not exactly hidden his own lack of enthusiasm about the fit there. He's played in a limited number of games across the last 2 seasons, battling injuries, and now the Wizards are sitting on the #1 overall pick in the draft, which makes them far less dependent on a big, expensive star to headline a rebuild. Davis, by all accounts, wants to play for a winning, win-now team, not a franchise in the early stages of a teardown, and reporting has indicated that a desperate contender putting together the right package, even including a future first-round pick, might be enough to get Washington to actually listen. That right there is the crack in the door, and it is genuinely open. And let me underline just how real this new era of player movement is, because it's the whole foundation here. Think about what we have already witnessed in this offseason alone. A 2-time most valuable player from a different franchise entirely was traded in a stunning blockbuster deal. A star all-pro wide receiver over in the NFL was dealt to a brand new home. Superstars whose names you genuinely never expected to hear in any trade conversation have changed teams one after another, over and over again. The old certainties about who can and cannot be moved are simply dead. And in Anthony Davis's specific case, you have a former champion sitting on a rebuilding roster that just landed the #1 pick, a star who reportedly wants out, and a front office that has every incentive to listen to offers. The door is open, the frustration is real, and the only question is which contender is bold enough to make the call. So now let me tell you exactly who Anthony Davis is, in case anyone needs the reminder, because this is the part that should get you right up and out of your seat. Anthony Davis is very simply one of the single most dominant two-way big men of his entire generation. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year, an 8-time All-Star, a 4-time All-NBA first-team selection, and a genuine NBA champion who was the best player on the floor for long stretches of a title run. He's a rim-protecting, shot-blocking anchor who can also step out and calmly hit a mid-range jumper, a genuinely versatile big who can switch onto smaller guards, protect the basket at an elite level, rebound at an elite level, and still put up 30 points on any given night when his number is called. He has one of the highest per-minute impact profiles of any big man alive today, the rare combination of a true legitimate rim protector and a genuine offensive engine at the same time. When healthy, there are simply very few players anywhere on the planet who affect a basketball game on both ends of the floor the way Anthony Davis does. Acquiring a player like this isn't just adding a piece. It's adding a certified championship-tested two-way superstar. And let me put his resume in proper context because it tells you why this is such an enormous story. A defensive player of the year, multiple rebounding and blocks titles across his career. A genuine NBA champion who anchored a title defense at a truly elite level, 8 All-Star selections and counting. When healthy, he is a legitimate top 15 player in the entire league, a genuine franchise-altering talent who has already proven on the very biggest stage there is that he can be the best player on a championship-winning roster. Stars of this exact caliber with this kind of genuine championship pedigree essentially never ever hit the open trade market during their prime. So the mere fact that his name is genuinely being connected to outside teams right now is the whole reason this story is exploding. So now let's talk about why this fits Luka Doncic so perfectly, because this is the heart of it. But first, let me make sure you really appreciate how rare a player like this actually is, because it's the whole point of the story. In today's NBA, the hardest thing in the world to find is a proven, championship-tested superstar who can protect the rim, switch out onto smaller guards, and still put up big offensive numbers when the situation demands it. Most stars can do one of those things at a high level. The truly elite ones do all three. Anthony Davis has done all three on the biggest stage there is, with a championship banner to prove it. Think about how genuinely few players in the entire league have actually been the best player on a title-winning roster and can also protect the rim at a truly elite level. You can count them on one hand, and players with that exact profile essentially never become available in a trade because the teams that have them understand exactly how precious that combination is. So the mere fact that Anthony Davis is genuinely being connected to outside teams right now is the entire reason this is such an enormous story. Here's the thing about building around Luka. He is one of the greatest offensive engines the entire game has ever seen, but he has one clear, obvious need around him: elite rim protection and real interior defense, the exact area where he can be targeted and attacked in a playoff series. Anthony Davis answers that need directly, at a truly elite level, with an actual championship pedigree to prove it genuinely works. And here's the part that makes this specific reunion so fascinating. Davis already knows this organization, this city, and what it takes to win a title here. He's not walking into a totally new situation. He's coming home to a franchise where he's already been the best player on a championship roster. Just imagine for a second Luka Doncic orchestrating the entire offense while Anthony Davis anchors the paint, protects the rim on every possession, and still provides a real second scoring option down in the post whenever the offense needs a bucket. That combination, a genuinely generational offensive engine paired with a proven, championship-tested defensive anchor who already has real history with this exact franchise, is about as complete a formula for real contention as you could possibly build in a single trade. So now let's talk about how this would actually work in practice, because the price is the key. Anthony Davis is owed a significant salary, and to actually trade for him, the Lakers would have to put together a real, genuinely competitive package, likely including significant draft capital, since the Wizards have reportedly signaled that a real first-round pick could be enough to get them to listen. It would be a major, genuinely complicated trade to construct, no question about it. But the Lakers have always been a franchise more than willing to make the bold, blockbuster move when a player of this exact caliber and this specific shared history is on the table. And reuniting Davis with the organization while pairing him with Luka Doncic in his prime is exactly the kind of swing this franchise exists to make. And let me put the stakes in proper context, because it matters here. Luka Doncic is one of the greatest offensive talents this league has ever seen, but a generational engine like that only reaches its true ceiling with the right defensive infrastructure around it. Anthony Davis is not a hypothetical fit, he's a proven one, an anchor who has already helped a Luka caliber roster in this exact city win it all before with a different superstar. That history matters. It tells you the infrastructure, the medical staff, the front office relationships, and the winning culture already exist. This wouldn't be building something from scratch. It would be reconnecting proven pieces that already know how to win together in this specific market. But I told you I'd be honest with you, so let's take the doubts head on, because on this one, they are real. The first objection is the cost. To reacquire a player this good, the Lakers would have to give up real, significant draft capital and possibly rotation pieces on top, which could thin out the depth around Luka on the roster. That's a fair, genuinely real concern to have. But for a generational talent like Luka Doncic in the absolute prime of his career, you have to be willing to push your chips into the middle of the table to build a real championship core, and a proven, championship-tested anchor is exactly the kind of player worth pushing in for. The second objection is the health, which is the most legitimate basketball concern of all. Anthony Davis has played a genuinely limited number of games across recent seasons, and betting a real, significant package on his long-term availability going forward is a genuine risk. The honest counter is that he's still genuinely elite whenever he's healthy, and a front office and medical staff that already knows his body intimately from his years in Los Angeles could potentially manage his workload more carefully than a brand new organization might be able to. The third objection is whether the front office would even want to revisit a situation they moved on from before. It's a fair question, but circumstances genuinely change over time, and a proven champion who already knows exactly how to win in this building, now paired with a top 5 talent in Luka Doncic, is a completely different situation than the one that led to his original departure years ago. So let me tell you where my head is at, and then I've got one final thought that I think is the real key to all of this. If the Lakers pull this off, they give Luka Doncic a proven, championship-tested defensive anchor who already knows exactly what it takes to win in this building, and they do it by bringing a former champion back home. Just picture it for a second. Luka Doncic running the entire offense, Anthony Davis anchoring the paint and protecting the rim on every possession, a Lakers team that suddenly looks like a real, complete championship caliber contender again. Whether it actually works comes down to the cost and assets and the health holding up, and that's the real honest debate here. But the fit with Luka is genuinely fascinating. The championship pedigree is already proven in this exact building and this exact city, and the Lakers have never been shy about chasing exactly this kind of bold, star reuniting swing. And here's the thought I want to leave you with, the part almost nobody is connecting. The rarest opportunity in basketball isn't just adding a star, it's adding a proven champion who already has history and chemistry with your organization. Those exact kinds of situations almost never present themselves twice in a career, but every so often, circumstances genuinely shift. A disgruntled star on a rebuilding roster creates a real opening, and a door that seemed closed for good cracks back open. That is exactly what's happening with Anthony Davis right now. And the Lakers, with a superstar in Luka Doncic who needs exactly what Anthony Davis provides on both ends, and a shared history that makes the fit even more natural, are perhaps the single most logical destination of all the contenders. So let me boil it all the way down for you, because I want this crystal clear. A generational offensive engine in Luka who needs elite rim protection to reach his ceiling. A proven, championship-tested anchor in Anthony Davis, who already has a title and a history with this exact franchise, and a rare opening because a rebuilding team is ready to listen. The cost and assets and the real injury history are the honest obstacles, no question. But the fit with Luka is fascinating. The chemistry with the city is already proven, and the Lakers, of all franchises, exist to make exactly this kind of bold, full-circle swing. So let me boil it all the way down for you one more time, because I want this crystal clear. A generational offensive engine in Luka Doncic who needs elite, proven rim protection to fully unlock his ceiling. A championship-tested anchor in Anthony Davis who already has a title and deep chemistry with this exact organization and this exact city. A rare opening because a rebuilding roster is finally ready to listen to offers. The honest obstacles are the cost in draft capital, the real injury history, and whether both sides genuinely want to revisit this. But the fit with Luka is fascinating. The chemistry with the franchise is already proven on the biggest stage there is, and the Lakers, of all teams, exist to make exactly this kind of bold, full-circle swing. I'm not telling you it's signed. I have no reporting that says the ink is dry, and I am never going to make something up for you, because the only reason you keep coming back to me is that I shoot you straight, even when the honest version includes real concerns about the cost, the health history, and whether this reunion even makes sense for both sides. Those concerns are genuinely real, no question. But I am telling you, the talent is real. The fit with Luka is fascinating, and a proven champion with history in this building is the rarest kind of addition. And multiple credible reports have already connected outside contenders directly to this exact situation. You stack all of that up, the fit and the shared history and the fact that a genuine champion is on the market, and you can feel it, can't you? This one would just make sense.